Okay, once you loaded in, come to the front of the hangar. Have a run. Cool. Right, so I guess everyone's here. If someone's not in the game yet, just tell me now. Okay, I guess everyone's here. Hold on. Okay, well, welcome to the Familiarization course. Today, I'll be teaching you today, or at least I'll try my best to do so. My name is Jackson, as you can see, and whoever doesn't know me, which will most likely be most of you, because I haven't played with, well, most of you. I've been with the British Army for about 4 years, and I've been in Iraq and Afghanistan, and joined UO probably earlier this year sometime. Can't remember the exact time, but been here for quite a bit now, to actually get to know what's happening here. So I stepped up to actually start instructing, which I'm doing now. So some quick rules to start off with. Now, for the duration of this course, just make sure you have, well, not really, but just try and have pen and paper ready, in case you need to note something down. There will be a quick field training exercise, quick practical, at the end of the course, where we will go out and shoot at some live targets to actually use what we've learned today. And obviously make sure your add-ons are working, and make sure ACA is working. We don't want to run into any problems like in the middle of the course, which will just cause disruptions. But yeah, just some general United Operations rules as well. Obviously, I expect you all to read the charter, make sure you understand it, so you're not being banned in the future for things that you might not know. But I'm just going to read over the basic ones, just so you've got an idea. Obviously, no cheating or hacking. It's a very important one. We don't want to see that here. And make sure you're acting at your most mature level that you possibly can. We don't like being around, and it's not some Hello Kitty shit. So always make sure you're mature and you think logically. But yeah, respect each other. It's another very important one. Make sure you know, or make sure you're aware that there's another person just like yourself sitting on the other side of the game. So make sure you treat others the way you wouldn't be treated. And yeah, then obviously some obvious ones like text chats, inside missions. We want to keep it as realistic as possible. That's why we're using ACA. Text chats are only for technical problems or to contact an admin if there's a bannable offense happening. But let's get this started. I don't want to bore you anymore with rules and stuff. You can all read that up in the charter, and I trust most of you have probably done that already. But actually I forgot that one. Another one I actually want to go over is the chain of command. Now, does anyone know what the chain of command is? If you do, press Shift and 5 to signalize you know. Wow, that's the first time. Oh, Deck Mongo, tell me.
Team leaders, squad lead, fire team lead.
Yeah, you forgot one important one though, which is the server admin. Server admin's right at the top of that chain of command. Whatever the server admin says, you've got to adhere to. Yeah, go ahead, Musha, your arm's getting quite low.
It's basically like the order of succession, how orders are given.
But generally, if there's something being said and that's a server admin saying it, then everyone has to listen to that. Everyone, even the platoon leaders or company commanders. But obviously, if someone like yourselves now, an infantryman steps up, just some random grunt and says something, then most likely not everyone's listening to it. Obviously, some people might take it as a suggestion, but that's just how it goes in the chain of command. Now, are there any questions regarding the chain of command?
User joined your channel.
So let's move on from there. We're going to start off with, I'd like to say, an interesting topic, but probably not as practical as most of you would like, the acre section. So to start off with acre, now what does acre stand for? Someone know? Mm-hmm. Wave at me. There you go. Go ahead.
Advanced combat radio environment thing. Hello?
Did we lose you, Jackson? I think we may have lost Jackson. Yeah, and that's right, the advanced combat radio environment.
Is that better?
You got your
Yeah.
back.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a made microphone outtake. But yeah, where were we? Acre, right? Okay. Yeah, that's correct. So there are two radios that we're going to be covering today. One of them being a squad level radio or fire team level radio. Now, what would that be? Someone tell me. Not you, Mongo. You sit down. Yeah, very good. Okay, level radio.
343.
Fire team level 343. Yes, very correct. It's the PRR 343. It's a short range radio allowing us to communicate inside the squad or fire team. So every one of you should have one of these 343s on you right now. So what I want you to do, I want you to press Control Shift and X to bring that up. And once you press that, you should have one of these green things in front of you saying Acre TFP 111. Does anyone not have that? Wave if you don't. Shift 5. Okay. Seems clear. Right. So it's a very simple radio. And it's very useful as well, obviously. So what we have there, we have two knobs at the top. The left knob allows us to change the channels. There are 16 pre-programmed channels that you can change to, and the right one allows us to change the volume. Now, to change these knobs, to turn them, you need to press left click or right click on them. That will change the options. Okay, that's pretty much the 343. 343, like I said, it's a short-range radio, so don't expect it to get any further behind the 300 or 400 meters mark. It's very dependent on terrain as well. So if there's mountains and if it's hilly and there's a lot of buildings or trees, then it will most likely be obstructed and won't even go or won't even get to 300 or 400 meters. But it's just something to keep in mind. So to talk at radio, we have that one button. It's caps lock. You press that to obviously talk on the radio. Very simple. And what we've been doing now, well, I hope everyone knows how to do that, is direct talk. Direct talk, you need to set your TeamSpeak push to talk key, and that allows you to talk to someone directly. I hope everyone knows, because otherwise you probably wouldn't be in here. But to move on from that, now we have another radio we're going to be covering today. Which is the PRC 148. Now I need you all to turn around and run up to that box over there and grab a 148 radio. It's one of these black ones.
And come back to heaven.
But yeah, I see someone wants to go a little more long range, Cujo.
Oh, sorry.
I hope you've also got the 148 and not just the 117.
Which one? The PRC AN PRC 148.
Let me see how the... Can you find it? Right. Okay, I think everyone has it now, hopefully. So what I need you to do, I need you to press Control Shift and S to change the radio. You have one of these yellow boxes or black boxes with yellow text at the bottom left of your screen, showing you what radio you have selected. I need you to select the 148 and then press Control Shift and X. Control Shift and X will then bring up the 148 that we're talking about. Okay, does anyone not have a 148 in front of them now? One of these black ones, black long ones covering like a quarter of your screen. Okay, seems good. Right, okay, with that 148 up, we have a few more options than with the last one, but it's still pretty simple, so I'm going to quickly take you through that. We have two knobs on the top of the radio again, the left one being for channel and the right one for volume. Now to change them, left click and right click. Now it's a little different. With this radio there are 100 pre-programmed channels that you can go through. And obviously the volume on the right, you will see the bars disappearing on the radio and appearing again. Okay, now we want to change the power. Has anyone ever heard of changing radio power? What is it there for?
The range?
The range is one of them. Mongo, do you have something else?
No, I was gonna say range.
Clarity.
Okay, yeah. It's clarity, yeah, you can kind of count that too, but it's kind of part of range. But changing the power settings of a radio has obviously a few factors. One of them being the range, its ability to transmit over longer ranges, and clarity being one of that. So if you won't get out of range as quickly, which will completely distort the clarity and will make you come over distorted or with the static noise. But another one that's not particularly applicable to ARMA is the batteries. Now in real life, you try and keep it on as low of a power as possible to save some battery. But it's not applicable here because it's mission service and you won't have to worry about batteries.
Cannot fire.
Now another one you might want to change it for. Is to stop the enemy from listening in. Something that might happen. Sometimes you don't have different frequencies. I've actually played one mission before where you have the same frequencies as the enemies, so you can either program the frequencies to make them different, or you can change the ranges and make it shorter so that they cannot hear you and you can communicate. Same counts for other units that you might not want to interfere. Doesn't really apply to ARMA because we're not that large here, but just something that you can keep in mind so you know about it. Okay, but we have two radios. Now, let's say you have your fire team members on the short range on the 343, and you have your scout one, maybe even platoon leader on the 148 that you now have. Now there will be two different transmissions coming in at the same time. That'd be pretty difficult to understand. So we have something for that to make it better, to make it easier to understand. Now, hold on. Let me choose one here. Mushi, do you know what that option is?
It's Control Shift right or left arrow.
Yeah. It's Control Shift and right arrow, left arrow, or up arrow. changes the radios to different ears. Now you need to make sure you've got the right one selected that you want to put on that ear by pressing Control Shift and S. And then you can put it on the different ears. To put it back to normal on both ears, you need to press the up arrow, so Control Shift and up arrow, that will put it on center. Okay, now we have something else that I quickly want to demonstrate, or not demonstrate, but go over. The lower headset, race headset function. Now I found that pretty useful. I was in the mission today, and I was the platoon leader, and I had my 2IC next to me, and he was trying to talk to me, but I couldn't understand him because there was too much direct chat next to me, too much radio chat. I'm sorry. So what I did, I used the scroll wheel, the action menu, to go onto lower headset. I lower up my headset. That just makes the radio communication sound go a bit lower, so you can understand what's happening next to you. But very important if you are to take a role where this is required. So I just wanted to go over that. Now, are there any questions regarding ACA?
How do you check the frequency?
Well,
I mean, sorry,
how
not
do
the
you check
frequency, the power.
Oh, I totally forgot that. I just remembered. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, open up the radio again. The 148, and then you'll have a mode button, MODE, top left of the keypad. I need you to click on that once. There you see all the zeros for changing frequencies, and if you click on it again, it will give you current and new. Both of them should show 100. That's the power setting it's currently set on. Now if you now click the arrow keys, the up and down arrow keys, you can change the power setting. Maximum is 5,000 for this radio. You have other radios where you can set it to 20,000, or sometimes there might even be in words, but 5,000 is the maximum setting for this radio, which you should always keep it on if you have one of these in a mission. Okay, now I hopefully didn't forget anything now. Looks like it. Are there any questions regarding the ACA section at all?
Does it make a difference? Current is different from new?
No, once you click enter, ENT, which is kind of obvious obviously, it will then set both of them to 5,000. So next time you go into mode again, then it will display both of them as 5,000. Okay, any questions? Looks like I've covered everything now. Good. So, the next section we're going to move on to is ACE itself. Now, ACE is obviously, it's a modification to ARMA2, which is more realistic, gives it more options, and generally allows us to enjoy the game a lot more rather than the standard ARMA2. Now, in ACE you have two different ways to interact. Which are those? Anyone know?
Alt Shift Q.
No, that's that's another option to interact, but that's ACA. That's an ACA menu. It's not actually an ACE menu. Yeah, self-interaction is one of them.
And then interact on someone else.
Yeah, exactly. Other interaction. That's the two interaction options we have: self-interaction and other interaction. Now, you might set them. You might have set them to your customized keys, whatever. But the standard keys for these are app menu, the app menu key, and the Windows, the right Windows key. These are the standard ones. If you want to have a look and see what you've got it set on, you can press Escape, go to ACE options, and top left you have keys, where you'll be able to see what that has been set on, the self-interaction and other interaction. Okay, so just to demonstrate what we can do with these interaction keys, I need you to turn to one of the persons next to you. Turn to one of them next to you. It doesn't have to be a specific direction. Just go to any one of those, and then press your other interaction key. Okay, now that would view a little menu saying examine and gear. Now examine obviously gives you some medical options in case that person is hurt, and it will also tell you the status of that person. Normally it should now say you examine blah 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 and he appears fine. That's because nothing's happened. But then there's also the gear option. Gear allows you to have a look into other people's gear, take stuff out, put stuff in, but it asks the other person for permission to do so. So never try and do that kind of sneaky or stealthy, because you won't get away with that. Yeah, that's the other interaction key. We also have the self interaction. Now, if you press the self interaction now, you will see a couple more, or one more actually. Now, the ones that are different, the first one is pretty similar to examine. It's just basically examine yourself. Then you should have magazines. Magazines gives you an option to change to different magazines that you might have, so different ammo types, or to unload your weapon. And then you also have goggles and masks. Now I need you all to click on goggles and masks now, and I need you to click on earplugs to put your earplugs in. Okay. Anyone not following? Anyone not there? Okay, perfect. So now you should all have your...
on fire? 'Cause that's what it
Sorry,
did.
go on.
I apologize. Is that supposed to put my weapon on fire? Because it did. I had to put it back on safe.
It might do. It might do. I'm not sure. Never happened to me actually.
Okay, it might have been because I looked in someone else's gear. Sorry.
That's fine. That's fine. But yeah, your earplugs. To quickly go over that. Earplugs obviously have a purpose. Now, if someone's shooting a machine gun next to you, and you don't have your earplugs in, and that person just gives it a complete mag dump, which means that person empties out the complete magazine with that machine gun onto a target, then you'll most likely end up deaf. So that's why we have the earplugs that stop or that avoid these kind of situations. It's also important for explosions. Might be from an AT launcher, might be grenade explosion. That could also deafen you. So very important. If you have earplugs, most of the missions will give you earplugs. If you do have them, put them in. Just keep them in as much as you can. And then we have something else like goggles, for example, safety goggles. Now I particularly want to go over that because someone's actually, or a lot of people have asked me, what's the purpose of these in ARMA? Now it's the same purpose as in real life, really. Well, real life has more purposes, but in ARMA it's good to have them on in case, for example, a helicopter's landing in front of you and it's throwing up a lot of sand that will completely, you know, blind you. It's good to have these safety goggles on them because you won't have that problem then. Backwash. But yeah, there's obviously a lot more that's in there, and there's a lot more ace keys. However, I'm not going to go over all of them. Most of them you can actually learn by yourself. You know, go into the keys section of the options, and have a look what you can do, and try it out yourself. You can always go into this training server. No one stops you from doing that, and it's actually really useful. There's a lot of stuff that you find out that you might find useful. Right. Okay. Now another good thing AIDS gives us is the option to rest our weapon. Now, or to deploy bipod. Now that's really useful to improve your accuracy, to greatly improve it actually, because it does make a big difference. So I would quickly want to demonstrate what you can do with that function. So hold on, let me put something here for you guys. Hey, if you're coming here, very nice. Just stand on the inside wall facing outside. If you don't have a gun now, go ahead and grab one. Okay, just stand inside, facing outside. Now just get your gun up, remove the safety, and just point outside. Now, what I need you to do, I need to press Shift and Space. You might have to try around a little bit. Sometimes it's quite difficult to get the right angle, but Shift and Space will basically rest your weapon, which means it will make it more stable. It will remove the shakiness. Tractor, is everything right?
Sorry, I can't hear you when I'm not facing you. My sound's
Ah,
screwed
hold
up.
on. Let me fix that for you. Hold on.
Can you say something?
Yeah, Jackson, we've unmuted you, but we're still not hearing you.
I just want to make sure,
User
unmuted.
disconnected from your channel.
He's going to restart TeamSpeak, and hopefully that will alleviate the problem.
alright.
I apologize, guys. This is caused from my 5.1 channel headset.
Yeah, you should always set your headset on stereo,
Yeah.
because TeamSpeak will not support 5.1 right now. Acre will, and ARMA will, but TeamSpeak will not. So you'll give up a lot of the effects in game because you're just setting it on stereo. But so I configure actually my sound system on stereo rather than configuring on 5.1. Otherwise, I get problems with TeamSpeak.
User joined your channel.
Okay, is that better?
There he is. Yeah, we can hear
Yeah.
you now.
Oh yes, now that fixed it.
Yes, much better.
Sorry,
Thanks, Jackson.
Jimbo, did you go over something?
No, I didn't go over anything. You were quick.
Oh. Okay, it sounded like you were talking when I joined.
Well, the only thing I pointed out was TeamSpeak does not support stereo 5.1 sound. It'll only support stereo.
Yeah, exactly. But now I'm Acre, so you should hear me just perfectly wherever I am, well, even if I'm moving around. So yeah,
I can hear you now. Thanks.
that's good, perfect. So I trust you all know how to rest your weapon now. Now feel free and fire a quick list of 3 shots or something, but that is a maximum. Okay. Yes. I'm gonna go over that. Okay, well, there's another way we can rest weapon. Actually, there's 2 more. Now, can be a wall, for example, a building. So, what I'm gonna do? Hold on, let me get someone. Let's see who's here. Tractor, you give it a try. Come on, just join me here. Follow me.
You want to rest on my back?
What? No. Everyone can turn around now and just look towards me. I'm over here, where the others are standing. So just come over here, Tractor. Now what I want you to do, I want you to literally stand here, and then lean to the left-hand side using Q, and then press Shift and Space to. Yeah, you just have to go up first.
Bring your weapon up first.
Yeah, double tap control. There you go. So,
Okay, I see.
can
I
you
can go into the
confirm?
corner, yeah.
Okay, so you can confirm that this works. This is very useful inside a mission. If there's a building on the side of a building, and you know there's enemies around that corner, you can then lean around and then rest your weapon on the side of that building. Now, if someone wants to give it a try, please feel free to do it on the side of a hangar. Once you're done, just come back.
I don't believe it works on the inside of the hangar wall.
No, I'm not sure. I don't think it works. No.
Because it's just modeled as the finish of a wall and not a corner of a building.
Exactly.
Will that apply
But
to
yeah.
any wall?
Sorry, say again.
Will that apply to any wall?
Yeah, that applies to any wall. We can even go over to that firehouse or that radio tower, or we can go to another building inside a town. It will literally work everywhere. It even works on containers. Everything that literally has a corner, 90 degrees corner or similar. There's another way we can rest our weapon. So, hold on, John, just come over here and, bend down, shit. Exactly, there you go. Okay, now, hold on, who's doing it now? Cujo, come over here. Now I need you to crouch, yeah, exactly, crouch here. And then I need you to rest your weapon on the back, on John's back. John, you might have to look down or something. I'm not. There you go, exactly. Now you go crouch, Cujo, and you get up your weapon. Double tap control.
It's not bringing up my weapon.
Just do it now. Double tap control.
Press
Okay.
There you go. Now go crouched, and now you can rest your weapon on the back, on John's back. Now I'd always recommend this because you could easily hurt someone by doing that, or that person could not have their earplugs in. That could be another factor. Now only do this if you really have to. Always try and use the others. But yeah, that's a good idea of that. Jimbo, can you do me a favor?
You betcha.
Can you can you quickly go over the A stamina system and weight system?
You bet.
Okay, because then I can set something up. That's great.
You bet.
Okay, Jimbo will take you to another quick section. If you just stand next to him, he will talk you through the stamina and weight system while I set something up.
Okay, so I'm gonna leave my acre on, so you just have to move close enough so you can hear Jimbo. And what we're gonna talk about is the ACE stamina system. So in the ARMA world, you can run around indefinitely. You never get tired. ACE has modeled a feature where, dependent on your weight and how fast you're running, and whether or not you're trying to look close at something, you will get more tired. So your weight should be capped around 32 kg. If you press G right now, so everybody press G, they'll see the gear that they have. The gear that I have, I'm carrying an M16A2. I'm carrying 6 30-round Stanags. I'm carrying a radio, compass, earplugs, map, night vision, watch. If you look on there, each one of those items, if you left-click on it in the left, it will tell you the weight of it. You look down below, it tells you how much weight it is. If you look at the top of this display screen, it tells you the total weight. So my total weight right now is 10 kilograms. Once I get up close to 30 kilograms, I'm going to be topping out in my weight. 32 is about max. The way you'll experience that is if you load up too much weight and you try to walk around quickly, or you try to jog, you try to sprint, you're going to get tired very fast. The effects that you'll experience is you'll start to see your vision gray out. Just prior to that, you'll start to hear your heartbeat in your ears, and then you'll actually start to experience a blackout, where you'll fall down, the screen will go black for a second, and you'll have to wait before you can get up. sometimes you'll have to wait a long time before your stamina will be fully restored and you'll be combat effective again. So that's why we have standard loadouts for each one of the fire team members, and we encourage you to adhere to that. If you're trying to carry an extra weapon, and you're trying to carry a bunch of extra ammo, and you're trying to carry a bunch of explosive charges, you're going to become a hindrance to your fire team. And everyone's going to be waiting for you because you're going to be passing out all the time. Yeah. Any questions about the ACE stamina system?
Does that include raising your weapon?
It doesn't include raising your weapon. I think it probably should. It does include everybody actually look away and raise your weapon, so double tap control. So this is not going to affect your ACE stamina. But when you hold the right mouse button down and you look closely at something, that's emulating that you're holding your breath. So while you're marching and you've got a reasonable weight on, if you emulate holding your breath while you're marching, you're going to get tired quicker. So while you're marching, you're watching your sector. If you want to zoom in to look at something, don't zoom in for a long time. Keep allowing yourself to look normally, and just zoom in when you really need to examine something. Otherwise, that could affect how you affect the rest of the fire team, and you get tired easy, and you start to pass out. Any other questions? Okay. So, next thing that we're going to cover, while Jackson's still setting things up. We'll check, see, maybe he's finished. Are you finished, Jackson?
I'm finished.
Okay, good timing.
Okay, that was kind of a rush. So what we're going to do now, we're going to do some basic weapon familiarization. What kind of weapons you could literally get in touch with on the primary server while inside a standard fire team. Now, one of them is obviously the weapon that you have right now, the rifle, the M16A2. That's obviously one of them. Then there's obviously grenade launcher, there's the basic AT launcher, there's a machine gun, which is most likely the M249, and that kind of stuff. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a quick familiarization in these terms. So now you have the M16A2, which is the basic rifleman weapon. So I want you to go over to the wall of sandbags now. Go ahead. Once you're there, I need you to stand behind that wall and go crouched and try and rest your weapon. I realize it might not work though, because it's too small.
Actually,
But give it a
worked
try.
for me.
Does it? Oh right, okay. So it's probably just a luck thing. But yeah. You can also use the bunker on the right hand side, or maybe even the bunker on the left hand side. Up to you. Okay. So what we're going to do now, I want you to aim down the range. You will see multiple targets that you can shoot at. You can even shoot at the BTRs. I don't mind. So now we're going to fire a short burst. Now, short burst I describe by 3 shots. 3 shots at these targets downrange. You are going to fire 3 shots with your weapon rested, and you're going to fire 3 shots without it rested. And then we see how many targets you can hit in a short period of time. So I suggest you do it unrested now. Go ahead and have 3 shots at the targets.
Section query.
There we go. There we go. Okay. Ceasefire. Ceasefire.
Ceasefire.
Okay. So the ones that did not rest their weapon should have seen that it was pretty inaccurate. Now go ahead, rest your weapon and fire 3 shots again. Okay. Ceasefire. There we go. You should have noticed that this was a lot more accurate. No, just to get you an example. What will also obviously be factors that you need to consider is your shooting position. So you might be standing, you might be crouching, or you might even be prone. And that will greatly affect your accuracy as well. Okay, so I need you all to run over to the box in the hangar and grab an M16A2 M203, I believe it is, the grenade launcher. And practice rounds, roughly four each of you, four for each of you.
Sorry, how many practice rounds?
Default.
Yeah, roughly four should be enough. Okay. I'm here, yeah, I'm here. Oh, yeah, yeah, I don't have Whisper set up. Yeah, I will explain that now. Okay, you should have a grenade launcher or a machine gun. Yeah. What is he doing?
I don't know, I thought he was alright.
You're alright, man. Let's go back to the setback. You're cool, you're cool. Oh yeah, you don't have a grenade launcher. No. Okay. So, something I want to say just before we get this grenade fire started. Yeah, I'll just let John take care of the missing guy. Okay, there they are. Just take your space somewhere behind the sandbags. So something, like I said, something I want to go over before we actually get this grenade fire started is a very important topic. It's called echoing. Now, echoing, I can't say that too much. It's very important because if you're in a fire team, you should only use the short-range radio for contact reports, for example. Something really important. You don't want to use it to tell your fire team lead where exactly you are, or you don't want to use it to tell them that you're low on ammo, or you don't want to. Well, sometimes it might not even be there. Sometimes you might not even have a short range, which means you need to echo so everyone understands what orders the fire team leader is giving. So echoing basically works. Let's to quickly demonstrate it. Now, trip line here on the far left. Hold on. Oh, Jimbo, that's you. Tripline here on the far left. What we're gonna do? Jimbo is gonna tell Tripline something. He's gonna whisper it to him, and then Tripline's gonna say it to the next person, which is Christopher. Christopher's gonna repeat it to Dak Mongo to Jack, and so on and so forth until it gets to Nostradamus, until he can literally tell me what the message was. So Jimbo, go ahead.
Jimbo's going offline.
Nemo is going offline.
going offline.
There we go. Repeat it. Exactly.
So everybody should just be repeating this instantly as soon as they hear it, even if it's not said by the person right next to you.
Yeah, even if it's not said by the person right next to you, it could be the person. There you go. There you go. Exactly. So that's how it works. Obviously, it's normally a lot quicker. And normally, once you hear something, you just shout it out, no matter what. No matter if it's the person next to you or the person standing 20 meters behind you. You just shout it out so everyone understands it. Now that's very important, especially in game when there's no short ranges. Like I said before, otherwise orders might not be understood by other team members, which can be mission essential and can be critical.
Can we try one more?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, section, form line, facing east.
Form line, facing.
Second form line, facing east.
Form line facing east.
There we go. There we go. I believe that went all the way through, or at least Thirtsin should have gotten the message. What was the message?
Section form line facing east.
There we go. So yeah, that's your echoing. Now, when we do a practical exercise later, I want to hear that, because what we're going to do when we do that exercise, we're going to drop our short range radios, which means if you don't do the echoing, then someone in your team might not get the order and might stand around like a lemming, not knowing what's going on. Okay, so let's get this grenade show started here. Need you all to bring your weapon up. Okay, if you don't have the grenade, the leaves up, you need to press Shift and 2, and that will bring that little thing up for your grenade launcher. So go ahead, press Shift 2 now. Once you have your weapon up, hold on, Jack, you still don't have your weapon up. I guess he's AFK.
No.
Oh, there he is.
I
Double. Oh, you all have, right, okay. You have your weapon down, so if you don't have grenades selected, nothing should happen, hopefully. But let's get this started here. I need you all to go crouched. Once you have that grenade side up, what I want you to do, I want you to use the up arrow key and the down arrow key to select the range. Now you're going to be aiming at those BTRs, those vehicles. Now those vehicles are approximately 100 meters off. So I need to set it to 100 meters using the up and down arrow keys. It will display it in the top right. Once you have it displayed at 100 meters, I need you to aim using the weapon front post, which is the post right at the front of your gun. Use that to aim at the target, and then I need you to fire one grenade. Go ahead, fire.
Firing.
Fire team 2 engage BTR front, one round.
There we go. There we go. There we go. That's set. Great. So that was pretty accurate as well. So what I now want you guys to do, I want you guys to estimate the range and shoot at the airport tower. Once you're ready, feel free to shoot your one grenade.
Fire team 2 engage radar airport tower on the left. Once you have a range, fire one round at will.
There we go. You can see some grenades in the target. That's pretty good. So yeah, but as for the range, you will get used to it. It's going to be a little hard at first. But after using the grenade launcher a bit, and after actually using something like the Vector, you will actually get a feel for the exact ranges. Okay, ceasefire now.
Fire team 2 ceasefire.
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 That's good echoing going on there. I like that. That's very good. I need you to keep that on the primary server. Very important. And if you do that, people actually know. Okay, they've done the familiarization course. They know what's going on there. Okay. So that's the grid launcher. So you guys are kind of familiar with that too now. So what I want you to do now, I want you to run back to the crate and grab an M249 machine gun. Yeah.
When you grab the M249, notice what it does to your weight as well.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah, that would be something we could definitely look at.
Nice spot.
Okay, now once you have the machine gun, I need you to go back to the sandbags, or you could lay down next to the bunker or sandbags. Do any of these, that should be fine. Make sure you have your earplugs in. Yeah, lie in front of it if you want to, but make sure you're not prone in front of someone shooting.
Oh, I like this section. Section full of ARs. That's heavy firepower.
Oh yeah, that's an over-the-top weapons team.
Jackson, do you know if you can
Yeah.
raise your weapon from the crouch position?
No, it will.
Yes,
If
you
you double tap control, it should. I believe it automatically makes you stand up.
But
There's
press
no
the
other method?
press the leftmost button when you're in the crouch position. It'll bring up your weapon.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
but only press it once. Make sure you only press it once.
Okay.
But yeah, go ahead. Take a space somewhere. I need you all to get your weapon up if you don't have that. If you don't have so already. So what we're going to do now, I need you to deploy your bipod. You can do so the same way as resting your weapon. Shift and space. Now it might not work on the sandbags. If it doesn't, then go
You're
in
gonna
front
be
of the sandbags and
better
lie
off lying
down.
on that, going prone to
Yeah.
deploy your bipod. Track the
Exactly. There we. So I believe everyone's set. So now that you have now that you have that, I need you all to fire 3 shots at the targets. Fire now. There we go. There we go. So, okay. Now that was pretty accurate. Now what we're going to do now, lie down again. First of all, crouch and then lie down again, and don't rest your weapon. Just keep it unrested. Now, once you're down again, I need you all to just fire onto the targets and try and hit as many as possible. Okay, cease fire.
ceasefire.
Cease fire.
There we go. There we go. Now, most of you should have probably noticed that this was much more inaccurate than what it was before. Generally, when you fire a lot of shots with a machine gun, the recoil is pretty strong. It's pretty hard. So make sure you have your bipod deployed at all times when you're shooting. It just makes it easier and a lot more accurate, and you're actually wasting less ammo. Okay.
Sorry, Jack.
So now that we have-
Sorry, Jack.
Sorry?
Should be aware that with the tripod deployed, your arc of fire is seriously reduced as well. You haven't got the same sort of freedom. of
Oh yeah.
weapon
Oh yeah. And it's much slower to actually move to the left or to the right if you have your bipod deployed, and it basically limits your arcs or your arc of fire drastically. So deploy your bipod if you can. Deploy your bipod when you actually see the target, when you know what area you're firing on. If you're just firing on a wide area and you don't actually have a specific target you're shooting at, you might want to keep it undeployed. But generally, if you do have a target, make sure you deploy your bipod. Okay, now everyone get up again and move behind the sandbags. Now, hold on. John and Jimbo, can you both get in an 84?
Roger.
Cool. Okay. What is this doing? John here in the hangar. Hold on. No, he's over there. He's getting an 84. Exactly. Yeah. Okay, John and Jimbo, once you both have an 84, I need you guys to step in front of the sandbags, roughly where the blue targets are, the blue pop-up targets. Hold on, no, they're not in here. That's my fault. Hold on. There we go. There we go. And that was my fault. I should have changed that before. Okay. You can't. What the fuck? Oh, there we go. Okay, just go up to the blue pop-up targets once you have the 84, and Crete, you're gonna go over that with them, and then I'll give you a go once we're ready. Okay, so gentlemen, what you're gonna see now is the backblast. Another thing that is actually quite an interesting topic. Now, backblast, you might want to stand in front of the targets to us because we can't. Well, I can't see you now. There we go. Yeah. So backblast is what basically, to explain it in the most simplest way, is what comes out of the back of the 84 when you're shooting. It's the pressure that basically comes out of it. Now, it's actually quite harmful, and it's actually quite strong. So when you have one of these 84s in a mission, you need to make sure you're using the correct procedure to get these shooting. Now the correct procedure to do so, actually, who's standing on the left now? It's John, yeah? Okay, John, I need you to shoot that 84. Use the correct procedure. Try and face sort of west, that sort of area, or southwest or whatever. And Jimbo, you're gonna stand behind him because you don't know that he's gonna shoot, and for some reason you can't hear John. So John, you use the correct procedure. There you go. There you go. That's what that's. Oh, you can't see it now. There he is. There he is. He's on the floor, and he's injured, and he's hurt badly, and he's probably crying. but yeah, but there you go. That's what happens if you're standing in someone's backblast or someone's standing in your backblast. So you need to make sure you use the correct procedure as just outlined and used by John. You start off with engaging enemy tank, distance close or something like this, and then you go shooting A4 or preparing 84. After you've done that, it symbolizes everyone, okay, someone's about to shoot an 84. I got to see where he's standing, so I'm not standing in his backblast. And then you go clear backblast. That symbolizes to everyone that you're literally about to shoot it now. And if someone's in your backblast, they better get the fuck out. There you go. Jimbo, are you global, yeah? Yeah. We have ACOV. Okay, it's just so they can hear you as well. Sorry? Okay. Can anyone hear Jimbo? Say something?
Sorry, what radio are they using?
Can you hear Jimbo?
No.
He's muted. I'll mute you, Jimbo.
Okay. Yeah, I think you just have to restart TeamSpeak now at SSI because I had the same issue earlier. I had to do it. But yeah, to carry on there, you go clear backblast. Clear backblast will symbolize everyone. Like I said, this guy is about to shoot a rocket. I need to get out of there. And after you've done that, you look over your shoulders, holding down Alt, holding down Alt, and then using your mouse to look around your shoulders. You might also have a track AR. That will just make it easier. But that's generally what you do. And then once you've looked over your shoulders and you're positive that it's clear, you're then going rocket, 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 and then you're shooting. Don't shoot before you say that rocket, rocket, rocket. There you go. You just hit the rocket, 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 and just shot. But okay, that just gives you an idea of that. So from there, we're going to move on. Let's all move to the front of the hangar and sit down in the school circle again. Okay, we leave the others there to die. There we go.
User disconnected
Okay.
from your channel.
So that was the A section or weaponization section as well. Are there any questions regarding the A section of what we covered just now?
Can you just quickly go over what you would say when you shoot?
User joined your
Rocket.
channel.
When you shoot a rocket, yeah, you start off, you say engaging so-and-so at so-and-so range, for example, to let everyone know what you're engaging. And then you go prepping a launcher to be shot at the enemy, obviously. Once you've done that, you then go clear backblast. And then you use Alt, hold down Alt, and use the mouse key, the mouse, to look around or look over your shoulders to see what's behind you. And once you're positive that your backblast is clear, you then go in rocket, 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 and you're then shooting. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
No problem. Any more questions?
Did you want to tell them about the AT4 CSRS?
I could that, yeah. Yeah,
just really briefly?
some people, yeah, sure. Some people like to say the CSRS version of the AT4 doesn't give you backblast. Now, I like to see it very varying. Let's put it like this. I like to, because sometimes you will still get knocked out, but sometimes it might not knock you out as hard as the normal AT4. So don't trust on it. But generally, it has a reduced backblast. So go ahead, Jimbo.
Target.
Don't
sub
try this at home.
500. Nothing. Prepping AT. Backblast. Clear. Rocket, rocket, rocket.
There you go. Actually. Now, how are you feeling, John?
Yep, uninjured.
Uninjured, but did you get some beeping and shit?
No, not really. I had earplugs were in and everything, but no
Okay,
injuries at all.
that's cool. Yeah, like I said, sometimes it works, sometimes it still knocks people out. It has happened to me twice on the primary server, where someone said, "Oh, it's the CSRS. It doesn't knock the other
Cujo,
person
throw
out."
your weapon.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But that just gets you an idea. Any more questions now? Okay. Right. So let's move on from there then. we're going to cover a bit of the ACE medical system now. After that, we're going to go into Shack Tech Hut and Fire Team Operations Basics, and then we're going to do the field training exercise. So the ACE medical system, what does it offer us? Now, ACE medical system obviously explains itself. It's a medical system to allow us to use realistic or apply realistic medical procedures, or not procedures, but equipment. So, what kinds of equipment do we have? We have bandages, we have morphine, and we have epinephrine, or also called adrenaline, and we have first aid kits. Now, bandages also gives us another bandage, like the elastic bandage, for example. And then we also have the CAT, the Combat Application Tourniquet. There we go. So this is a little bit of medical equipment that we have at hand. Now, bandage obviously is pretty self-explanatory. It bandages someone. It bandages your wounds. It stops bleeding, and that kind of stuff. The elastic bandage is simply just a larger bandage for heavier bleeding, for example. From there, we move on to morphine. Now, what does morphine do? Hold on, Tripline, tell us.
Stops pain. Relieves pain.
It releases pain, exactly. Release pain, it stops pain, it stops your screen from turning all white and shit, and it stops you from passing out due to pain. So that's a very important one that we really need. Now, we also have epinephrine, or adrenaline. That basically wakes someone up. If they're unconscious, for example, you can wake them up by giving them epinephrine. Now, always make sure that you only give them epinephrine if they've already been given morphine, because if you give them epi and they're still in pain, it doesn't matter if you give them epi, they will still pass out. That's there. Yeah, do not overdose. Okay, from there we move on to the first aid kit, or individual first aid kit. Now, the first aid kit, it heals you up, basically, so to speak. So it makes you walk again if you have a broken leg. It removes any injuries that you possibly had that can still cause problems, or not cause problems, but that could be affecting your future injuries. And it obviously cleans your character. It removes any blood, that kind of stuff. It stops your character from screaming. So that's another important one that we have. And then the CAT, Combat Application Tourniquet. Now, a lot of people have asked me about the CAT. What does the CAT? What does that do? What is that there for? Now, we use that for heavier bleeding, severe bleeding, dramatic bleeding, basically everything that takes longer or cannot be treated by normal bandages. So, say someone's been hit by a grenade and they're bleeding heavily, you might want to apply a CAT, or Combat Application Tourniquet. Now, they're really useful, but in real life you wouldn't always apply them because it's really painful, because you've literally got to stretch them, which is really, really painful, especially if you're applying it to yourself. So yeah, that's another useful one that we have in ARMA. So that's the equipment that we have available and what it actually does. Now, there's a couple more functions that we have there. We can load casualties into vehicles, for example. Helicopters, we can transport them off to a casualty collection point, or maybe a forward operating base. That's another thing we have. You basically, you drag the person that's down using the ACE interaction menu next to a car or vehicle, and then use the interaction menu on the vehicle to load them into the vehicle. But they have to actually be down, and they have to be next to the vehicle for you to be able to do that. So something I would quickly want to explain as well, because some people find it difficult to understand, it's the general procedure when when a casualty happens. So actions on casualty, for example, or actions on man down. Something very important you need to keep in mind. If someone's down and shouting "man down," which is the standard word or standard statement you make when you're down, you don't literally just run over to that person and try and heal that person up. You don't do that. Now there's two options we use at UO. First one would be the fire team leader assigns a first response like thing or like person that literally when there's a man down focuses on that man down and tries to get him back up. That might be the rifleman, for example. Or it could work after buddy teams. If the fire team leader doesn't say anything, it's most likely going to be the buddy team system, which means if you're the rifleman and you have the automatic rifleman as your buddy and he goes down and shouts "man down," then you take care of that casualty. Now, it's also very important, do not cluster up on casualties. If someone's down and he's being taken care of, don't just run up to that guy as well and try and help as well, try and interfere. One person is enough to get one person up. Make sure you keep the security going when something like this happens and you take care of the sectors that you're watching, rather than running up to the casualty. Okay, so something you might want to write down or you might want to remember to get that obviously into your head and to remember that. I always remember that after 4 points. So 4 points. The first one would be secure zone or return fire. That's what you do at first. Second one is deploy smoke if needed. If the situation's overcoming you and you need to get that casualty out of there, but the enemy does not stop firing, deploy smoke in front of that casualty. And then number 3 will be drag the casualties out of the danger zone. And number 4, obviously, apply first aid. That's point number 4. So always remember these 4 points. Don't ever, if someone's down, like I said, don't ever just run up to that person. You need to make sure the zone is clear and you're also not getting shot. And always only apply first aid behind cover.
Can you repeat 4 points?
Sure. 4 points. Secure the zone or secure the area by returning fire. That's point number 1. Point number 2 is deploy smoke if needed. So throw smoke grenade if needed. If maybe the enemy doesn't stop firing and you don't have more time, you might want to throw smoke in front of the casualty to make you able to drag that person out. No, number 3 is drag casualties out of the danger zone. Drag them behind cover. That might be a rock, a tree, a building, sandbags, maybe even a hill. And number 4, apply first aid or take care of that casualty. Okay? You got that?
Yeah, thanks.
Cool, perfect. Any more questions regarding ACE Medical? Okay, seems good. So the next one we're covering is the Shack-Tag HUD. That's what we have at the bottom of the screen. The radar looking thing and the list full of names. Now, we have the radar. Now, what is that good for? Can someone tell me?
Spacing?
Spacing might be one, yeah?
Formations.
Formations, definitely. Anything else?
Awareness.
Situational awareness. That's very good. Calling context direction. That's another one. Yes. Generally, situational awareness covers it all. It's a general term that we use. Situational awareness. That's literally dealt with by the Shack-Tag HUD. And thanks to that, we actually know what's going on around us. We know if we're in the right position to fulfill or complete the formation. We know if we're moving into the right direction. We know if the contact's been caught in the right direction. We know what directions we're facing, and we know if the spacing is right. Now, the radar itself, it offers us 3 circles. Now, these circles have a purpose. The first circle, the inner circle, the smallest one, will symbolize 15 meters, 15 meters. The second one will symbolize 30 meters. And the third one finally will symbolize 45 meters. Okay. Now, that's obviously the ranges, and that basically explains the radar itself. Now, you have little icons moving around on the radar, and you have names on the right hand side, and they probably all have different icons as well. Well, you should all have the same icon now, but that's what generally applies. Now, we have a few different icons that I want to quickly go over. So the first one being the one with the slash. Now, what does that stand for? Can anyone tell me?
Leader.
Squad leader.
Yes, exactly. It's normally the section lead, or the team lead in some missions. And it just symbolizes, okay, that person, I need to stick to that person, he's my leader. And then we have another one which is the up arrow. Up arrow, that's the one you guys should see now. If not, then you should all have an idea now of what it stands for. It's the automatic rifleman or machine gunner. That's the one up arrow. Then we also have the double up arrow. Double up arrow symbolizes AT capabilities. Someone with an AT weapon. That might be an AT-4, it might be something more advanced like an M47 Dragon, or maybe even Javelin. But that generally shows, okay, that person can probably kill a tank. So there's an enemy tank, let's move over to that person. That's pretty good. And then we have another one. Yeah, we have another one with the blank one, for example. That's another one. It just symbolizes a rifleman, or maybe even a fire team lead, or someone with a non-specific role. Okay, then we also have the one with a cross on it. Now, what does the one with the cross stand for? Someone tell me.
Corpsman.
Medic.
Exactly, corpsman, medic. Even I believe even stretcher bearers have that. Anyways, that's nothing you need to be concerned of. But generally, it's a person that can unfuck you if you got hit, for example. So someone you should turn to and shout medic, for example. Okay. So one more thing I want to go over to make sure you guys know what. If it ever happens to you, you guys know what's going on. Sometimes your ShackTac radar, it turns all white, and it has a white background, and it's pretty hard to actually see. Now this is caused by your map tools. It could be map tools, or it could also be your GPS, or I believe even your compass. Now if you all press M to open up your map, okay, once you got that, you need to go to the bottom left. It will give you a little black dot on the map. It's in grid reference 001, 001. So 001 at the top and 001 on the left. There you have, if you zoom in, you can see your ShackTac radar. Now is there anyone who cannot see that? I'll press M and then Shift and 5 to wave so I can see that, so I know you're not following.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Sure. You press M, you open up your map, and then you go to the bottom left of that map. It should give you a little black dot, and if you zoom in, you can probably see that that's your radar.
Oh, I see it.
You see it? Cool. So if you have anything placed on top of that, it will make your ShackTac radar look all weird. Mostly it's white, I believe. It has a white background, and you cannot probably see on it. So if that ever happens to you, and your ShackTac radar is useless, then check your map. Make sure nothing's placed on top of that. Okay. So, one more thing I want to cover with the ShackTac on is the personal space. Personal space, very important. You want to try and keep that personal space, because let's say someone throws a grenade and lands right next to you, and there's someone in your personal space, in your personal bubble, that person will also get killed by that grenade. So personal space is really important. It also allows you to maneuver around more easily and to have more space for yourself. So personal space, if you look at your ShackTech radar, if you look at the smallest bubble, that's what we call the personal bubble. Personal bubble. Make sure if there's someone inside that personal bubble, make them aware of it, or if it's really disturbing, tell them to get out of your personal space. Something like that. Also, if someone moves too close to you, let's say I go tractor here, tractor. I'm very close to you now. I'm still literally standing right in front of you. So now your icon should turn. No, you didn't have me on there, but Mongo, if you stand right next to him, you should see your icons turn red.
Yeah, it does.
That just exactly that symbolizes someone's too close to you. Tell them to piss off.
I
There you go.
I get trigger happy when people get my personal bubble.
That's right.
Exactly. No one will get pissed off with you if you actually tell them, listen, you're too close to me. You might get killed by that. No one will literally get pissed off with you. So just tell them if you're annoyed by it. Okay. Any questions regarding ShackTech God? Okay, now what I want to, because I need to go to the bathroom quickly, I'm going to allow everyone 2 minutes, or make it 3 for the people that want to go have a smoke. Go ahead, do it quickly, but be back here as soon as possible.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
No
you.
problem. I'll be right.
Okay.
So we're quickly going to go over formations now. We're going to demonstrate them to you. So if you're, for example, attending the fire team operations training, you know what the formations look like. If you're on the primary server and someone says fire team red, form a wedge, you then know what's actually going on. So hold on. Okay, on and Mushu, just come over here. Okay, so what we're going to do, Mushu, you're going to face southeast, bearing 150, down this line here in front of you. Literally down this line, down the runway. You're going to face that way, and you're going to stay in position there. So, what we're going to do now, we're going to form a basic column. You're right, Mushu, just stay there. We're going to form a basic column formation. So, go ahead, there you go. Okay, that's your basic column formation. We're not going to move around much in this now because it's a very simple formation. It's basically just a line going down. Always make sure you are pointing to the right arcs of fire though. We're not going to go over arcs of fire now because that's going to be covered in the fire team ops course, and you get to know it much better there. So from here, from the column formation, what are you doing?
Just looking.
Exactly. Alright. Cool. From the column formation, we can simply form a staggered column. So I'm going to move this way now. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now that's your staggered column. It looks a bit like a zigzag, and it allows, if you have enemies to the left or to the right and you're moving down a road, for example, you can engage enemies to the left or to the right without shooting each other. It's very good, and it's spread out a little bit. It's not too much like a column. Okay, from here we're going to form a line formation. So Jimbo needs to go to the left of Mushu, John to the right of myself. There we go. That's your line formation. Line formation is the most aggressive, well, the most used aggressive formation for putting fire down onto a target down range. It's very effective because everyone can actually shoot at it without shooting each other. Much better like a column or a staggered column where you cannot engage enemies to the front. Well, you can, but it would be limited. Okay, from here we're going to form a wedge formation. So Jimbo, you're right there. Just move back a little bit. Yeah, then we should do like this. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's a bit close. It's a bit close together now, but it's alright. Should demonstrate it. So it's a bit like a spearhead. Not too much, and you can have heavy right or heavy left wedge. Now, heavy right means you have 2 fire team members on the right of the wedge and 1 fire team member on the left. Heavy left would mean 2 fire team members on the left of the wedge and 1 fire team member on the right of the wedge. And then we have another, which is echelon. So we are right here, Jimbo. You just got to move somewhere, either to the front or to the back of it. Okay, there we go. That should do. Okay, that's your echelon right. So it's basically like a line, just shifted to the right, and it's very effective if you have enemies, or if you're expecting enemies to the right, to the front right, for example, or maybe even to the right, and it can very easily be transformed into a line. So if everyone's facing into one direction now, that would simply be a line. And you also have the left. I'm not going to move over now. It's just a line shifted to the other direction, to the left, basically. Basically like this, just inverted. Okay. Now we have a couple more that sometimes are being used in ARMA, but not too much, which is the V formation, for example, which is an inverted wedge. So it's a wedge just the other way around for encircling enemies, for example. And then we also have the diamond. Now, diamond is a squad level formation that simply looks like a diamond and has a squad leader in the middle of the formation. Okay. So, what you generally hear on the servers, just to get your feeling, what you normally hear on the primary server, if let's say you're squad leader, let's say I'm your squad leader, or I'm your fire team leader, I'd then go fire team blue, form wedge on Mushu. Okay, and Jimbo would literally run over there, and John would run over there. Okay, that would be a quick wedge. That's how you'd hear it. Just make sure on the server, when that's being said, make sure you use the echoing. Make sure you echo that out so everyone can hear it. Okay. So we've already gone over the fire team roles briefly in the Shaktag Hut icon demonstration or icon explanation that I did. But generally you have the fire team lead, grenadier, the automatic rifleman, and the rifleman AT. Now this will go into much more detail in the fire team operations course, where you learn literally everything about each role, and where you also learn about buddy teams. We're not going to do that here. However, I want to explain a couple more things that you need to know. One of them being order of march. Now, order of march is simply a term that is being used for the arrangement and organization in a march or movement of ground forces. In your case, it's ground forces. Sometimes an order of march might also be used in the air, for example. Okay. Now, from there, we move on to contact reports. Contact reports on fire team level are being used pretty often, actually. You might not notice that, and some of you might still go, there's a target, may I shoot? For example. That's obviously wrong. That doesn't work out. Now, a simple soldier to fire team lead contact report would sound something like this. Contacts enemy squad, deadies close. Or it might be visual enemy tank bearing 220 near set of trees far. Now that would just be a simple contact report that you normally hear. So make sure you keep that in mind. To give you something to write down, I'm quickly going to give you key points that you need to bear in mind when calling a contact report. So have a pen and paper ready. You need to write this down to make sure you understand in the future. So you have enemy description or target description at the beginning. Well, obviously you say contact first, or you say visual, and then you give the enemy description or the contact description, which might be enemy squad, it might be enemy tank, it might be tank and 4 times infantry, might be that. And then you will have the direction. Direction could be a bearing, it could be bearing 200, or it could be direct east. And then you have the distance. Now distance, to describe distance, you're obviously not going to say 240 meters. You're basically going to say either close, middle or medium, and far. Now to obviously get to know them a little closer, these terms, you will have close. Close is for enemies which are closer than 200 meters. Then you have middle or medium distance, which is for enemies from 200 to 600 meters. And then you will have far, which is further than 600 meters. So anything further than 600 meters. Okay. And then the last thing I want to go over here is actions on contact. Actions on contact is another term you will often hear. Now, it simply describes this is what you're going to do when you get into contact. And it will always be specified by the mission commander normally, and it will then be distributed to yourselves by the squad lead. Now, that might sound something like actions on contact are to disengage and retreat, or actions on contact are to return fire and await support from nearby units, or something like this. Now, it can vary a lot as well. Okay, so are there any questions regarding the fighting operations section? Seems pretty good. So, what we're going to do now, hold on, let's see how many people do we have. Jimbo and John, do you guys have full squads? Full fire teams?
Yeah, we've got 2 fire teams of 4. I'm leading one, John's leading the other.
Okay, it's hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, that's alright. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to go out on a so-called field training exercise. What that means, you basically, you can use the formations that you've learned. You need to use echoing, and you need to make sure you communicate with each other, and you need to use what you've just learned to actually put it into practice on live targets. So, if you just bear with me, Jimbo and John, if you guys want to entertain and go through something before you guys go on a field training exercise, I'm going to quickly set something up for you. Just give me 5 minutes.
Okay, and just be advised, with the crate we have, we don't have proper kit. We won't have smoke.
Oh, I've
we won't
already
have
set
frags.
for you.
Oh, it's already set. Great. Okay.
Yeah, done that for you. Cool. Yeah, go ahead, kit them out if you want to, and get ready to be transported out.
Okay, so Jimbo's section is going to be 1 section, and green fire team is going to be John's team. So Jimbo's section, I want you to move. Actually, who's going to be in charge of the other fire team? Are you going to be in charge of it, Jackson?
Is there another fire team?
Yeah, it's
Alright guys, fire team 2 on me.
Lucia, Christopher, and Trip Line.
Okay, I'll take for you guys. Trip line, go ahead and grab the automatic rifleman layout. Jimbo's gonna assist you if you need some help with that, with the kitting out. And Christopher, you take a grenadier outfit.
Cairo, can you grab the M203 grenade launcher for us? And Thirdson, if you can swap out for the M16 normal rifle for us, mate.
Hey John, my game sound is not working. I tried to change it to stereo, but ARMA's still in 5.1, so I can't hear any game sounds. Just to let you know, but I can hear you.
Oh right. Okay.
Yes, just stay. I'll be right there.
Okay, that's no problem. Green team, when you've got your, or team 2, when you've got your gear sorted out, just come to the front of the hangar again.
Rifleman join at Center M4.
Jimbo's actually moving over to the crates. If one section can meet at the crates.
What's your weight?
Hey, John.
Yes.
As the AR, which one are you taking for smoke or grenades, or should I just load up on ammo?
You might just load up on ammo to be honest. What's your weight?
29. Okay.
Actually, grab a couple of grenades. Just don't go over 32 grams.
Roger that.
Do you want us to grab a pack or no?
Yeah, if you need a pack to carry your kit, that's fine.
Okay, Mishu? What fire team are you with? Who's your fire team leader? It's me. Okay, right, that's cool. Just come over with me to these boxes. Sure. Oh, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Just take your time. Over to the ammo crates. And I need you to kit yourself out. General kit, you know, let me see what you have. You have a rifle, okay? You're going to be the rifleman. So you're going to carry extra ammo for the M249. Just come over here, I'll show you where to get it.
Are we gonna grab
Okay.
more supplies too?
He's gonna assign that to you. I'm over. Waving.
Yeah, I was on.
Okay, it's right in one of these gaps between the woods there. Where you also have some rock formation.
Is Jack Jack with us?
Do you want the cruiser man till we get there, just for spotting?
Yeah, sure.
Jack Jack, can you hear Jimbo?
Right, guys,
Yeah,
if you have a look at your map
We're
again.
going to move to the dismount point, then we're going to dismount, then we're going to proceed on foot into Cabanino. Okay. Okay, so, and then the next thing I would do as a fire team leader is I assign positions in the vehicle. Jack Jack, you're going to gun. Deck Mongo, you're going to drive. Let's move.
Okay, you're putting points for us?
Everybody mount up in the Humvee right
Yes,
beside
can you
Jimbo.
see you should have waypoint
It's
1,
the
waypoint
Humvee
2,
on the far
and a dismount point.
east.
So, with Cujo, you're going to be driving. Who was on the main gun?
I'll take it. Tractor.
Cool. Alright, Tractor, you're doing that. So, Cujo, you happy? We're going to move out across the airfield to waypoint 1,
Okay,
move
Deck
down
Mongo,
to
you're driving,
waypoint
right?
2. Before we crest the ridge, we'll see if we can dismount and move through to dismount, drive through to the dismount point, which is behind the woods. We'll dismount there, push through, get eyes on the town, and we'll move through to take the town of Lapatino from there. Any questions? You guys happy with that?
Yeah.
Then let's mount up. I'll go in the front. Sometimes it's worth checking as well. You might have a GPS in the vehicle. If you press right control, and press the M button twice, the GPS might come up.
You ready?
Jackson, this is John. We're currently moving up to the west of the airfield to move to Lopatino area. Yeah, it's further over on the right, so once you get onto the runway, just follow that down. Listen, we're going to disregard waypoint 2. I think that's probably within sight of the town. So from waypoint 1, you're just basically going to move straight west to the dismount marker behind the trees. Actions on contact, guys. Will be weapons orange, weapons yellow. So don't fire. Report contact, so use the contact reports, and then we can make the decision whether we're going to engage. If you are engaged, you are free to engage back, to fire back. Sorry, my mouth is really dry. Push through, push through.
Go through the gates.
Yeah, go on. Should be right. Famous last words. So if you want to start heading off road, basically heading west from here. That's alright, just keep pushing through, you'll be fine. Alright, you can basically see those trees ahead of us, that's basically where we're heading for. Should the worst happen and you die, you will respawn back at the hangar. If you guys just hang around there, and then we'll do a debrief afterwards. And can I just don't like shoot things and ask around? That's a real quick way of getting on Jackson's bad side. Not that you would. Alright, let's stop here and we'll dismount here. On a dismount, you normally could take 360 security.
I got north.
Okay, cool. So yeah, we'd have normally we're done by teams. So team 1 would do I don't know, south-southeast. So yeah, you'd want to be facing more sort of east, really, so good 360 cover while we're here. But while we're here, what we'll do now is we're going to move west towards the village, go through these trees and see if we can get eyes on of the town. So we'll move out in a wedge formation. And it'll be a heavy right. So normally there will be team 1, so Cujo would stay on my left. And Tractor and 13 would come around to my right hand side. Okay. So we need just spread out a bit, guys. You're really clumped up. Have a look at your shack tack. You want to be one ring apart, basically. at the moment we've basically got a really good line. Alright, we need a sort of a V formation. So Cujo, if you pull back, keep going Cujo, pull back a bit further, basically so you're a ring apart from me. Keep going back a bit more Cujo. Basically your wedge formation. So we're going to move through just a nice quiet walk, and as I said, with weapons yellow, so if you see targets, we'll go call it out, and we'll go prone, we'll deal with that all the time. Don't engage back, alright?
Echo your commands too.
So yeah, very important. You've got no radios, so poor third sin's not going to hear anything down the far end, or tractor's not going to hear anything down the end down there. So from now on, we start echoing everything. I'll stop with the whole explanations thing, and we'll just crack on. So fighting green, moving out west, wedge formation, heavy right, at the wall.
Move out west.
West, wedge formation, walking.
Don't forget to cover your sectors. So Cujo used to be looking over to your left kind of thing. Third sim sort of looking over to the right. We'll be covering the front. If I die, Cujo takes command. If Cujo dies, Tractor takes command. If Tractor takes command, third son, you have to do a valiant charge.
Tractor, you're third in line if Cujo and John get killed.
After that.
I've got the village in sight, guys. Keep moving slowly forward.
Sorry, guys.
So we're going to wheel it around a little bit to the south, to the southwest.
Angling southwest.
Angling southwest.
Alright guys, get into a line formation, grab a tree.
Line
get some cover,
formation.
and you get eyes on.
Line formation.
Anybody got any contacts?
Negative visuals. Wait. I got ×2 by the church, infantry, medium. ×3.
Saint.
You guys got a bearing?
240.
You see the large church?
You might have
Behind
those
the
trees
trees.
in your way,
Yeah,
Tractor.
it's behind the trees.
Anybody else got any eyes on? So we've got a fire team minus by the church.
Is there any more good sight lines over there, John? If I peel
Say again?
left? Is there any more good sight lines over there if I peel left with this AR, so I don't have the trees?
He wants to know if there's any good sight lines if he can peel to the left side of the formation.
Oh, you got no eyes on over here? We're going to be pushing forward anyway.
Yeah, okay. It's just limited over here. Do I need to speak clear?
It's just the whole thing of the distance and an acre. It does degrade seriously over distance. Right,
I can't
guys.
hear you when you stand behind me either. Just to
Alright,
let you know.
okay. Cujo, we're going to... John, bounding forward, alright, into the town. Basically, you and I are going to move forward first, the other two are going to support us. And we'll do this as we've obviously explained after the clock. Then the route will go on, and that's why you and I are going to bound forward just a short distance. They'll support us in the field. Okay? Guys, we're going to bound forward. Alright, we're going to do it by fire team. So fire team 1, which is me and Cujo, are going to bound forward. So we're going to sprint forward a short distance, and we're going to drop down and get into cover. When we're down, I'll shout out, "We're set," and you guys are going to come up to us. When you're with us, we're then going to keep moving forward. So team 1 will move forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Basically, this is a good way of moving in the open that minimises contact. Alright? Now, when the firing starts, if you're waiting to move, you put as much lead down range as you can to suppress the target while we are moving, and we will do the same when you move. Rog?
Roger.
Alright, just listen out for the command, guys.
So Tractor, do you have eyes in that compound?
I think the compound is behind the trees.
I would squish up front, like just in front of me, slightly to my northwest. There's a small rock. I wouldn't be afraid to break formation and get a visual, because you can't really provide base of fire.
Going to be bounding forward.
Yeah, because I can only see like
by buddy team.
200 feet.
Buddy team 2, support. Buddy team 1, we're moving now.
Yeah, Tractor, move closer to me. Fire team 1's moving.
Team 1 is set. Team 2, go.
Alright, team 1 set, team 2 moving.
Moving.
If anything starts opening up, we open up big time up. But at the moment, we're just going to keep moving until we can get as close as we can. Once you're down, guys, yell set. Yep. Don't run crouched, run full up. You need to get up there as fast as you can.
Come on, Tractor. 2 is set.
Set.
Team 1 is moving.
Okay, I got eyes on the compound now. I can see those 3 guys.
Yep. There's a third behind the tree left of the second guy.
Yeah, I see 3 right there. 2 inside the wall, 1 outside the
Team
wall.
1 set, Team 2 move.
Roger.
Moving.
2 moving.
I'm going up to this hay bale up here.
Yeah, Roger.
Right, so
I'm gonna
full
catch
fire
definitely
team
behind
on
this
jet.
other one.
Team 2 moving. Team 1
2
moving.
set.
John receives. We're currently moving into the town of Cupertino. 1 fighting scene, not yet engaged. Team 1 set. Team 2 move.
2 moving.
Going right up to these next.
Yeah, I'm holding here. 2 set.
Team 1's moving. Get ready to load an arm fire on those fuckers because it's not going to be long before they see us. Team 2 set. Team 1 set.
2 moving.
ARMA left as well.
Set.
2 set.
Team 1's moving. haven't seen us yet. One set.
2 moving.
2 moving.
Alerted.
Right. Team 1 suppressed. Team 2's in position. We'll keep moving up.
2 holding base of fire. 1, you're clear to move.
Moving. One set.
2 moving.
Moving.
Cujo.
Hold here.
Dropping.
Keep suppressing, Cujo.
2 set.
One set.
Reloading.
Up. Moving.
Moving.
All the way to the rock.
I've been hit. I'm crawling up here.
2 set.
Hey, third, you receive that?
No, what?
I've been hit.
Roger.
I'm gonna set up though. Loading. John, all right?
They're patching. Shit.
I'm
Team 2, how you doing?
We're good. Get to the wall.
and down.
I was hit. We're moving up now. Roger, bandage.
Hell am I doing? Shit.
Team 2, you in a position to cover?
Negative. 1 down.
One down, coming to you. Team 1's moving. But you, Cujo?
Applying bandage kit. Contacts are on the right side of the ASR in front of the church. That would be north side of it. They're shooting through trees. If we have a GL, the GL can lock that out quick. Bandage applied to tractor.
How's the couch?
Okay, I can hear you.
What's with Cujo? What's he doing?
He's down as well. Once you guys are sorted, I need one of you to go back and sort him out as well. Drag him back
Contacts bearing southwest. Where is this guy? No visual on him. He's got to be past that red barn. I'm going back for Cujo. Shit, John's down.
I think John's hit here.
He is. Popping smoke.
Yeah, pop some smoke.
Can you stabilize him? You know how to do that?
Yeah, yeah. You can
Alright,
cover?
go ahead and do it.
Or
I'll
should
cover.
I cover? I'll cover.
I'll cover.
I got the... Okay. He's dead. was John. Fuck.
Fragging. It's not gonna reach though. Down. Alright, the contact was west. Are you down too? Shit. Oh shit, he's right there. Nothing I can do. Ah, bitchin'.
Hey, how's it going?
I died twice and that
Decked.
sucked.
Alright, have a good night,
Okay.
John. And see you guys later. Cujo, third sin.
Hey, John.
Yeah, what's up?
That's Jack.
All right, all the best.
So-
Any other questions or?
I got a question, John. How did your team do?
I thought they did really well.
So, what were the objectives of this this lesson? Do you remember?
It was to go through basic maneuvers and echoing of commands.
Okay. What I understood was it was to echo, it was to call out contacts, and to move between formations. How did they do?
Good. We moved up fairly cautiously up to the edge of the tree line overlooking the town. Contact being called out was good. We were able to work out exactly where the enemy was before we were able to engage them.
Right.
Good communication amongst the team. That was very good.
Good. So they were calling out. Everybody on the team was echoing.
I mean, there was a very short period of time from moving up to getting to where we needed to be, but I mean, we even managed to get some bounds across quite a large open area, and yeah, it was well done.
Okay. Good. And then the contacts, were they calling out contact and then a distance and then a description?
Yes, I mean, we only caught up with one contact, which was a fire team minus that slowly grew into a fire team.
Okay.
But very quickly we were able to work out exactly where it was based on the contact report.
Okay. And was everybody calling out the contact, or just a couple of people that saw it?
It was the one person who first saw them, and then they were being echoed down the line, so everybody knew where the contact
Well,
was.
that's-
And when one person wasn't sure, we were able to determine where it was for them.
Well, that's sterling. That's excellent.
That was fun though, I like that.
Cool. So what do you think, Mongo? Were we doing the same thing? Was everybody echoing all the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that we did pretty good.
I
So when
don't-
we got to we couldn't see anybody from where we were. I couldn't find anything.
Well, that's-
I just heard shots.
And that's really common, that you're going to run across contacts and you don't know where the contacts are. So it's
Yeah,
hard to
that's
yell out
happened to me
the
a
con-
ton on the primary. I can't see anything. I just hear shots going off, and it sounds like they're right next to the building next to me.
So what you're doing then
I've
is
spent entire missions not seeing the enemy at all and still
Yeah,
firing shit.
That happened to me once. I was the AR,
And
and
then
it
it's
just
important-
gave me bearings. I was just spraying into the woods, and I got like 3 kills just from that. I
Yeah,
didn't even
and
know
it's
where
really,
they were.
really important when you're doing that for you to be yelling out the direction of the contact as well. And also, if you can't see them, emphasize that you can't see them. Say, yell out, not seen. Because I've seen people when the contact has been from the west, and everybody's yelling or everybody's firing to the east, and no one's yelling out not seen. So everybody thinks everybody else has spotted the contacts, but nobody's actually seen them.
Yeah.
We killed the last two after you died.
Thanks. I feel better now.
I thought I was gonna die when I ran into that little bus stop. I was sprinting across and started shots and just sprinted in there. And I was like, oh god, I'm gonna die. These are gonna go right through it.
So the green team just went through their
Alright.
AAR. And what about the red team? What our objectives was to call out contacts, echo our commands, and move between formations. So Nostra, what do you think we did right?
Well, we called out contacts, but not loud enough though, and echoing was pretty good. We had some problems with the language barrier, but other than that, it was pretty good.
Not bad. And
Yeah.
Mongo, what do you think
let me
we
shortly
did?
step in there. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Okay. It's all been finished. And now this wasn't a competition, but just to get you guys an update, Petrovka has been cleared. Cabanino has been cleared completely. Only
Lopatino was an
Lopatino
absolute
has
failure.
three enemy foot mowers left. But it's all good. It's a good job for Familiarization course. Obviously, the feedback that you get from your assistants. So to keep this uninterrupted, what we're going to do, John, you're going to take your team off. Jimbo, you take your team off to one side, and I'll take my team off to one side, just to keep this uninterrupted, and we can give constructive feedback.
Okay, excellent.
Okay.
So I'd like
come over here and see
one red. I want to move southeast.
Green team on me.
Okay. Yeah, you guys have done a very, very good job. I was impressed by the echoing that you did.
There's only three of us. Unless there's anything else you guys can think of.
Not really.
No, I think we did as best we could.
Yeah, I mean, it's calling out echoing is really important. You probably noticed it today. You don't have to get that far away from somebody to not hear a thing. And once you start not hearing what's going on in the rest of the squad, it's very easy to lose orientation of where you're going, what you're doing, and what you're supposed to be doing. So, you know, if people aren't echoing around you, then it's perfectly okay to step up and say, look, guys, please echo. I can't hear a fucking thing down here. Especially if you're the rifleman stuck on the far end of a wedge. It can be very, very difficult to hear what exactly is going on. I mean, a lot of missions these days do have short-range radios, but it's a really good habit just to be into of echoing commands. As Jimbo said, is there anything you thought we did well? Anything you thought we didn't do as well? And that goes for all of us, me included.
I think when Team 2 was moving, when we were set, we were putting out a pretty good base of fire. I didn't necessarily notice that from Team 1 when Team 2 was moving.
Yeah, that's a fair criticism. I should have kept my eye on who was on the AR. Was it Tractor?
Yeah, that was
Tractor.
Tractor and myself. We were moving and we were throwing down rounds.
Yeah. So it was really myself and Cujo. No, Cujo's here. Who am I missing here? So who was I? Yeah, Cujo. It was you and I who was moving forward, wasn't it? We were Team 1 and Tractor and Thirton. So, I mean, I was trying to get grenade launchers down there, but I mean, you may have noticed they're quite slow, especially if you once you get through the ones you got on you, then having to get them out of your pack. So it's a sort of toss up when you're on the move like that in terms of how much grenades you can quickly throw down there. But yeah, we should have got more fire down there as soon as contact was made. Especially when you're doing something like a bound, because it's what you do when you're covering open ground. I mean, we were doing our bounds far too long, but you know, they're literally only supposed to be 3-second runs. But you know, don't worry about that. That's not a main thing. That comes up more in the Flight Team Operations course. But no, I thought it was good. I think the only thing other thing we could have done differently was perhaps approach it from the southwest or southeast of Lopatino and move up through the cover of rocks. It was moving across a very large area of open ground. Not the greatest of ideas.
Yeah. Yeah, and we kind of stuck in formation a little tight when we had those bales. We could have used this cover on the way in. If we had radios, it would have been more conducive. Otherwise, we had to use hand signals or something.
Yes. I mean, yeah, there aren't real limitations to ARMA, but in terms of going through some basic manoeuvres and assaulting an objective, I think it did the job. I think we could have still taken it if I hadn't been a bullet magnet. So, unless there's anything else you guys can think of. Jimbo, this is John. We're basically done here.
To you guys as well. It was a pleasure doing the course. You're now free to go though. If you want to go, if you want to take a break, if you want to go to the Fireteam Operations course, whatever you want to do now, just make sure you apply the skills you've learned on the primary server.
Look forward to playing with you guys in game, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Cool. Yeah, thanks everyone. Jimbo, yeah, I'm done. The course is done. Bye bye.